Pertamina is an Indonesian state-owned oil and gas company. So as of today, corruption court sentenced Riza Khalid's son, Muhammad Kari Ardianto, son of the fugitive oil mogul Rizal Khalid, to a 15 years prison due to a sweeping crude oil and corruption case that the prosecutor said that it cost up to 285 trillion Indonesian rupiah, or equivalent to $17 billion in state loss. In addition, the prison term, the court imposed a 1 billion rupiah fine with an alternative 180 days in jail. Now, why this case is so big? Because the case is exposed corruption within the national energy sector.
Now I'll explain the crimes committed in the Pertamina corruption case. Investigators discovered three main illegal activities that caused major losses to the government. First, there was illegal leasing of fuel terminals. These fuel storage facilities, which belong to the state, were improperly leased to private companies. This misuse of government assets resulted in large financial losses for the country. Second, investigators found a fuel blending scheme where low quality was mixed with a high quality fuel and it was sold as premium fuel. This was a form of fraud because consumers were misled into paying for higher quality fuel while actually receiving a lower quality product. Finally, there were irregularities in crude oil imports and fuel sales. Certain individuals manipulated the import process and fuel distribution for their own personal profit.
As the Pertamina case is one of the highest profile Indonesian corruption cases in history, the C. Jakarta court handed out very heavy sentences to the corrupt officials. Prominent defendants were hit with severe penalties because judges felt the evidence presented showed a coordinated scheme of corruption in the state-owned oil corporation network. The person with the highest sentences is Keri Riza, who was sentenced to 15 years imprisonment. Beside a period in prison, he will also be sentenced to 1 billion rupiah in fines and awarded compensation equivalent to US $173 million. If Keri fails to pay this fine, authorities will seize his assets and property that are worth enough to compensate the court. Then his jail time will be accelerated.
The conclusion of this case is that it shows the effects of corruption in the economic space and along with other sectors of Indonesian government and everything in between, and how it impacts trust with the people, and along with what they've taken out, the 17 billion US dollars that they've taken out, and how it impacts the people and everything in between. And hopefully with the punishment that the courts have given, it will deter any other future perpetrators that may or may not want to do some corruption or white-collar crime.